5 days had slipped by since our child entered the world, and the joyous occasion was marred by an unexpected visit from my husband. Without warning, he thrust divorce papers into my hands, his words cutting deeper than any knife. "Don't think having a kid makes you untouchable. Get too cocky, and I'll divorce you in a heartbeat. You wouldn't stand a chance raising a child alone." My fury boiled over as I snatched the papers away, his smug demeanor only fueling my anger. Tearing these up would be pointless. "You're still going to be my slave," he sneered. Ignoring his taunting laughter, I signed the papers and declared, "Fine, let's get divorced. My name is Stella, 32 years old. I met Leonardo, my older husband, at work, and we've been married for 4 years. He always envisioned me as the supportive homemaker while he pursued his career ambitions. We both wanted children, but our journey to parenthood was fraught with disappointment. Despite his insistence, blaming me for our infertility, I couldn't bear the weight of his accusations any longer. Leonardo's frustration mounted with each passing year without a child. He lashed out, blaming my lack of fertility on my role as a stay-at-home wife. His demands for household chores became increasingly unreasonable, turning our home into a battleground. Though far from my hometown, I couldn't endure the emotional turmoil any longer. I lived a solitary existence, devoid of nearby friends or outings, my days consumed by mundane tasks like grocery runs. Without employment, my financial freedom was scarce, contributing to the suffocating monotony of my life. It wasn't solely Leonardo who pinned me against the wall with his relentless pressure. 2 years into our marriage, with no sign of pregnancy, even his parents joined the chorus of inquiries about our elusive grandchild. When they probed, my husband deflected blame onto me, leaving me to bear the weight of their expectations alone. As the days stretched into an endless abyss, a glimmer of hope emerged when the pregnancy test revealed a clear positive. Tears of joy streamed down my cheeks at the long-awaited news. Eager to share my elation, I snapped a photo of the test and sent it to Leonardo, hoping it would revive his spirits. Yet, his response was silence. When he returned home, he handed me his belongings as usual, oblivious to the momentous news. As I broached the topic at dinner, his indifference pierced through me. "I'm pregnant," I announced, hoping for a spark of joy in his eyes. But his gaze remained fixed on the television, his reply cutting through the air like a blade. "Seems like it is. That all." Confusion and disappointment flooded my senses. Wasn't he supposed to be ecstatic? Didn't he yearn for this moment as much as I did? Desperate for affirmation, I pleaded with him, hoping to share in the joy together. But his response shattered my illusions. "Don't get all high and mighty just because you got pregnant. Do you even realize how long you kept me waiting? Don't think I'll be kind just because you're pregnant. You're not working." I expected to continue with the household chores as I always had, never once considering slacking off or expecting any special treatment. All I yearned for was a single "I'm happy" from Leonardo. But as my tears of joy from moments ago turned to tears of sadness, Leonardo paid me no heed, retreating to the bedroom without a word. Why couldn't he share in my happiness? He had expressed such a fervent desire for a child. At the obstetrician's office, the news of expecting twins should have been cause for celebration, yet Leonardo remained stoic. Perhaps it hadn't sunk in yet, I reasoned. My belly hadn't yet swelled with the evidence of our impending parenthood. Surely, as my pregnancy progressed, he would come around. But weeks passed, marked by morning sickness and unrelenting fatigue, and still Leonardo showed no interest in my well-being or the looming responsibilities. During a routine checkup, a chilling truth was revealed. The risk of miscarriage loomed over us. "Please try to rest as much as possible," the doctor urged. The word miscarriage cast a shadow over everything, but I clung to the hope that our babies would survive. The doctor's prescription was clear: bed rest at home. Desperate for Leonardo's support, I reached out to him, but once again silence met my plea. Even when I shared the news of the checkup upon his return, his demeanor remained unchanged. Struggling through the days, I realized that I couldn't endure this alone. That evening, I made the decision to retreat to my parents' house earlier than usual. As I prepared to leave, Leonardo's parting words stung, reminding me of my responsibilities. "Don't let yourself go at your parents' place. And remember, you're still in charge of the house when you return. Don't slack off too much." The next morning, with my parents' support, I settled into the familiar comfort of home. Despite the uncertainty surrounding my pregnancy, The reassurance from several checkups was a small comfort amidst the turmoil. When I reached out to Leonardo to share the news of my latest checkup, his response was curt, lacking the warmth I longed for. But what truly shattered my illusions was the unexpected sound of a woman's voice on the other end of the line, calling out to Leonardo. It was a jarring realization, confirming my suspicions that his love for me had waned. Rubbing my growing belly, I resolved to face the truth. Leonardo's cold demeanor finally made sense. I couldn't deny the reality any longer. As I contemplated my next steps, a longing for freedom surged within me. Cooped up at home for nearly 2 months, I yearned for a taste of the outside world. On a warm, sunny day, I ventured out for a walk, the vibrant greenery offering a brief respite from my turmoil. Unexpectedly, I heard my name called from behind. It was Jameson, my childhood friend, who had stumbled upon me. Despite years apart, our reunion was filled with warmth and nostalgia. Over tea, we shared stories of our lives. Jameson, now a lawyer, had recently opened his own practice, offering a glimmer of hope for a new beginning. I had a sudden realization. In cases of infidelity, there's a possibility of claiming compensation, right? I accidentally voiced this thought, and Jameson's demeanor shifted to one of seriousness. Sensing his concern, I found myself divulging thoughts I had kept buried deep within me. The struggles to conceive, my husband's emotional detachment, and the pain of witnessing his intimacy with another woman all poured out. As I spoke, tears welled up, the weight of my emotions becoming too much to bear. Despite not being in the prime of my youth, I found myself breaking down, heedless of the onlookers around me. Jameson's stooping words brought a sense of calm, his promise of support a beacon of hope in my darkness. "Let's gather evidence," he urged, his determination unwavering. "You can't fight without proof of infidelity. Anything will gather physical evidence." Grateful for his guidance, I agreed to enlist the help of a private detective agency recommended by Jameson. With their expertise, we uncovered the painful truth. Leonardo had been entertaining his mistress in our own home, their affair flourishing under my unsuspecting gaze. The woman, a colleague from our workplace, had been well aware of his marital status, yet chose to engage in a clandestine relationship with him. It was a devastating blow, especially considering the timing coincided with Leonardo's growing frustration over our infertility struggles. Blaming me, he had treated me as little more than a servant, indifferent even in the face of my pregnancy. Anxiety gnawed at me as I faced the impending arrival of my first child. Little did I know, while I grappled with the uncertainties of motherhood, my husband was entangled in an affair with another woman. Learning this truth ignited a fury within me. So that was why he couldn't muster any joy when I finally conceived. While I endured the pains and anxieties of pregnancy, he reveled in his own pleasure. Mere divorce wouldn't suffice. I was determined to make him pay for his betrayal. With Jameson the lawyer by my side, we crafted a plan to ensure justice. Jameson's unwavering support bolstered my resolve, his genuine concern a beacon of comfort in my storm. On the day of my delivery, amidst the pain and anticipation, I brought 2 healthy twins into the world. Yet it was only on the 5th day that Leonardo deigned to show his face. His callous words pierced through me like daggers, his disdain evident even as I lay recovering from childbirth. "You took 9 days in the hospital, huh? What a luxury," he sneered. "You couldn't even get pregnant quickly, neglected your duties at home, and ended up with a C-section. You're a failure as a woman." His words were a cruel blow, especially considering the circumstances. He didn't even spare a glance at our newborns. Containing my rage, I accepted the piece of paper he thrust towards me. Divorce papers, already adorned with his signature. "Don't think having kids makes you untouchable," he spat. "If you slack off on housework because of them, it's instant divorce. You'd be in trouble if we divorced, right? I won't forgive you." My husband brandished the divorce papers before me, his actions igniting a fiery rage within me. I snatched the papers from his grasp, his taunts falling on deaf ears. "Tearing it up is useless," he sneered. "I can easily obtain another from the city office." Ignoring his derision, I retrieved a pin from my bag. "Fine, let's get a divorce. It's something I've been wanting too," I declared, my determination unwavering. "And I won't allow you near the children. I want you gone from this place as soon as possible." With those words echoing in my mind, I signed the divorce papers, Leonardo's sneer only fueling my resolve. As he reached out to snatch them back, his threats echoed through the room. Do you even know what you're saying? How will you raise these kids alone? You should just be my slave for life. But I was resolute. I've already informed my parents of our decision. From now on, I'll live with them. I don't meet a man who cheats on me, I countered, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. How long do you think that bravado will last? You can't make it without me. You'll regret it when it's too late, he warned, his arrogance palpable. However, before the tension could escalate further, a new voice cut through the room. Excuse me, my name is Mr. Wood, and I'm Stella's lawyer, Jameson announced, stepping into the fray. Leonardo's grip on the papers faltered at the unexpected intrusion. Who are you? What do you mean, lawyer? Leonardo demanded, attempting to assert his dominance. But Jameson remained composed, undeterred by the confrontation. We already have evidence of your infidelity. If you don't agree to the divorce, we'll proceed with mediation or a lawsuit. And if you refuse to negotiate compensation, we'll take this matter to court, Jameson stated firmly, his resolve unshakable. Caught off guard by the legal threat, Leonardo hesitated, allowing a moment of pause in the heated exchange. I couldn't fathom the absurdity of the situation. After broaching the subject of divorce himself, Leonardo now seemed bewildered by the prospect. Jameson's persuasive arguments fell on deaf ears as I handed the signed divorce papers to him, seeking refuge in the authority of the law. Mr. Wood, please take care of this, I requested, passing the papers into Jameson's possession. Before Leonardo could react, Jameson swiftly secured them in his bag, his demeanor radiating confidence and authority. But Leonardo's disbelief quickly turned to desperation. You're joking, right? We're not really getting a divorce, are we? He pleaded, his voice tinged with panic. You know you can't manage without me, especially with twins. It'll be a financial burden. I met his plea with a steely gaze, refusing to waver. I can't believe you're the one who brought up divorce, and now you're saying this. We're still getting divorced, and I'll be seeking alimony. You never planned on contributing to household chores or childcare, did you? His attempt to belittle me with threats of dependency only fueled my anger. Don't demean women by suggesting they become slaves, I snapped, my voice rising in indignation. From now on, if you have anything to say, go through Mr. Wood. There's no point in coming here. We have nothing more to discuss. As my words sank in, Leonardo's face flushed with rage, his fists clenched in fury. But before he could escalate the confrontation further, I stood my ground, unyielding in my resolve. With a cough from Jameson, Leonardo seemed to snap out of his anger, lowering his clenched fist in defeat. That's how it is, so please leave. Jameson's firm words seemed to deflate Leonardo, who left the room with slumped shoulders. Following that confrontation, I enlisted my parents' help to submit the divorce papers to the city office. Without any complications, the papers were accepted, and I was finally granted the official divorce I had sought. From that day forward, my phone was bombarded with incessant calls and messages from Leonardo. However, Jameson's professionalism shone as he adeptly handled the legal proceedings. With his assistance, I received proper alimony from both Leonardo and his affair partner, ensuring financial stability for the foreseeable future. Several months later, their affair was exposed at their workplace, leading to the woman's voluntary resignation and Leonardo's transfer to a rural area. Despite his attempts to start anew, rumors trailed him, resulting in social isolation and eventual dismissal from his job. Meanwhile, I returned to my parents' home, facing the challenges of child-rearing every day. Yet, with the unwavering support of my family and Jameson, I navigated through the trials of parenthood. In an unexpected turn of events, Jameson confessed his long-held feelings for me, expressing his willingness to embrace my past and build a future together. Without hesitation, I accepted his proposal, and we embarked on a new journey as a family. Now Jameson treats the twins as his own, and I am eternally grateful for his steadfast support. With Jameson by my side, I look forward to creating a happy and fulfilling life, starting anew.